something that's been very interesting to me in Total War Attila, and indeed in Total War Rome 2, was how much of the damage done from charging cavalry onto infantry was was impact damage. We were able to get a fairly good look at that with a mod that was made that removed weapons and charge bonus from cavalry in Rome 2, and then we tried killing both cavalry and infantry with that unit. And for heavy and very heavy cavalry units, they still wreck infantry on the charge, even though they have no weapons, they have no charge bonus. So impact damage is enough to get the job done. In Attila, it's the formula for calculating impact damage heavily favors cavalry to kill infantry. Bracing is not enough to protect infantry from the cycle charges of cavalry. So here we've set up a mod. Walrus Jones has made it, and we have different units from, these are camels. So we have units from very light camels. Camels are heavier than horses. Heavy melee camels. Then we have light shock camels. Very heavy shock camels. Now these guys have a charge bonus, and they shouldn't have. But let's just mainly consider the heavy compared to the very light shock. They're up against Behar's Chosen. The reason why I picked Behar's Chosen: fairly good health, fairly good armor, heavy melee infantry, and they will just be standing still here, 5 ranks deep, and they will be braced. So let's see what happens to them on the charge. Remember, no weapon is present on these units. They have 0 melee damage, they have 0 charge bonus. Every single casualty caused against these units is going to be caused by the impact. The combination of the weight of the unit and the speed at which the unit hits. So first here we have the heavy melee cavalry charging in. The Yamal al-Balta. And it's safe to leave them in the fight now, because leaving them in the fight is, I mean, they're not going to take any damage from the Behar's Chosen. So let's just see here. So the heavy melee cavalry, about 18 kills on the charge here, and that is against infantry 6 ranks deep. The camel warriors, very light melee cavalry, 16 kills on the charge, a very impressive result. Let's see over here with the very light melee cavalry. Not able to knock down the entire unit. And the very light melee cavalry does a pretty poor job of killing Behar's Chosen. Now let's just run down the line here and see the casualties. So, very light melee cavalry, 3 kills on the charge. Heavy melee cavalry here, let's see if they get more kills. Only 5 kills on the charge. Here we have Camel Lancers, 1 kill for light shock cavalry. Almakas did have a charge bonus, so that changes things a bit. But you can see that the only unit that makes the Behar's Chosen just waver and almost destroy it in a single charge is Almakas Lancers. If these guys had a weapon, they would destroy the Behar's Chosen, no question about it. So the Camel Lancers here, 20 kills. Purely impact, 18 kills on the heavy. Light shock, 20, so better result for the light shock than for the heavy melee. And if you look at the speed of these units, 73, and let's see, the heavy melee, 73, it's quite interesting that the very light, or the light shock cavalry, is as quick or slow as the heavy melee cavalry. And the camel warriors as well. Camels are just slower than horses, but even the very heavy shock camels are faster compared to the very light melee cavalry than horse units are. That's quite interesting. So the Behar's Chosen were able to stand up to this charge fairly well, I'd say. Let's just fast forward here. And here you see the bug with defensive formations being reforming, because I forgot to mention it, but these units are actually in shield wall. These units are not. So shield wall takes 4 casualties here, takes 6 casualties here, 1 casualty here, and let's see, 78, 120. So they take 42 casualties here. Now, non-shield wall takes a significantly higher amount of casualties on the first impact charge. So 18 casualties here, 18 casualties here, 20 casualties here, and yeah, this unit just got properly wrecked. 76 casualties taken by this unit. So yes, shield wall does help, significantly so, to reduce the damage taken by charging cavalry, no question about it. The thing is though, that these guys don't have a charge bonus, so if the charge bonus and weapon was in place, the shield walls would do a much worse job against them. And again, allowing units to stay in a formation as deep as this just makes you a sitting duck for infantry, so a bit unrealistic, but it shows that quite convincingly that yes, the shield wall's bracing bonus does reduce the impact damage taken by quite a few casualties on the charge. And it does show that even though the very light camos, they do a fair bit of impact damage as well. So here we have the Almaka's Lancers, the heavy melee Jamal al-Balta, and it's not necessarily the first charge that kills. Because just looking at casualties isn't at the first charge is relevant, but the second and third charge is very important because the unit will have lost hit points as well, and that doesn't show up. There's no way to know how much hit point damage was done. But by the second charge, these guys are down to 73 men. And let's just fast forward. So 73, 54, and third charge, they are down to, let's see, 54. And this unit just broke. I believe that unit was fighting Camel Lancers. Yeah, light shock cavalry. So 19 kills on Camel Lancers on 3 charges. Pretty good. But the shield walls are actually holding significantly better to the follow-ups. Less hit point damage done here. Almaka's Lancers, again, disregard this result because they have a charge bonus here. But against the very light Camel Warriors, the shield wall is holding strong. Only lost 8 men. Against the heavy melee cavalry, the shield wall is holding strong. Only lost 9 men. Losing a bit more now, but it's not really decisive. Against the Camel Lancers, the light shock cavalry, the Camel Lancers have only caused 5 casualties thus far, and you can see that it takes a significant amount of charges for even the heavy melee camels to kill these Bears Chosen. So I'm just sending in the Almakas to finish them off here a bit. But impact damage is significant. Impact damage is reduced significantly, of course, by using a defensive formation like a shield wall. And even though you can do a lot, I mean, bracing is hard to pull off in a battlefield situation because, once again, bracing makes you a sitting duck for any infantry units. And some of the reason why you see cavalry doing so well in Attila is because it catches unbraced infantry, or catches infantry in the rear now, and of course the massive charge bonuses help as well. But infantry that has precursors and has the fire at will toggled on will never be braced. So you have to choose between being braced and probably getting wrecked, and throwing precursors, getting a few kills in, and then getting wrecked. Now, this also highlights, this is heavy melee infantry being braced. We'll also see how light infantry does, because light infantry has less mass, and should take significantly more impact damage from the light cavalry units. Strength and honor.